Tonight's episode is another split episode where things are going on both in present and in the past, which has time travel problems, but also has a really good plot development. Welcome to the heart of the stories we tell. My name is Rob, and tonight I will be reviewing Timeless Episode 14, The Lost Generation. And after our loss last week of the second pilot for Flynn's team, our new pilot is taking a much bigger role. The fact that she has some funny stories to tell means that she's going to be a much more important character. But I'm still dealing with the fact that we're dealing with a time war. A war where multiple sides are going back and trying to erase each other through history. And that way still lies madness. And tonight's episode might just be the one to showcase exactly how badly it is you can mess up the time stream when you're trying not to. You know, wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff that gets in the way. But in order to get into the details, let's get into specifics of tonight's episode. And we'll throw this up there to start. So once again, it's stop. Spoiler time. Ba-da-na-na. And the aftermath of World War I, but before World War II, is such a huge spot. So many historical figures in Paris. We have Hemingway and Lindbergh just as a reoccurring characters for tonight's episode. But in reality, when you think about it, Lucy and Rufus are in the middle of what's pretty much a major historical time period. And while they're there, we have, like I said in the beginning, Wyatt and our Homeland Security agent back home trying to figure out what's going on there. And I want to discuss for a minute and jump out of the episode the time travel problem with this. The problem with the time machine is, once you go back, once you leave now and go to then, everything changes. The idea of two separately running clocks, one then, one now, is impossible because changes from one are already going to catch up. Now, of course, for a storytelling medium, we need to ignore that. We need the clock to be running simultaneously in both. But if you think about it, there's no reason that they have to do it that way. And I do just want to point out the ridiculousness of every time they disappear, they should already know what's going to happen, because history would have already caught up to the new timeline. But okay, away from that. And back to Rufus and Hemingway, and the fact that Rufus is a soldier in and of himself, and the fact that Hemingway is a jerk. I kind of wonder how true that is. On second thought, maybe I don't. Maybe meeting your heroes is always going to be a letdown. But Flynn and Lucy are both approaching this from two different points of view. They're still both trying to fight Rittenhouse. But let's think about how they're fighting Rittenhouse. Lucy thinks that you can bargain with them, talk to them. Flynn thinks the only way to do it is to destroy them. Which one of them's right? Well, we're going to have to wait and see. My money's on the hero of the show. But okay, back in the now time period, we still have Wyatt and Homeland Security. And you know what? Wyatt really showcases why he's so important to the team tonight, both in what he does do and what he can't do because his buddy went back in time with them. And this leads me to a question that I have for you about Wyatt. Do you think that they're going out of their way to showcase how important he is so that they're going to pull the rug out from us? I do think that the fact that him and Lucy already have some sparks in chemistry means that there's something more going on before the season finale. But his escape from maximum security black site was pretty awesome. I even like the fact that he got a helping hand from a paperclip. Those of you that watched the MacGyver series that I kind of gave up on halfway through will know that him using paper clips for things was an ongoing thing, so it kind of made me think of it. I don't know if it's supposed to or not. So far, Wyatt and Flynn have just been your standard military, not your 007 military types. Although I will say, once again, the fact that this new guy, who's just as good as Wyatt but followed the rules, wasn't as good as Wyatt because they needed someone to break the rules, was classic TV trope territory. And before we go on too far, I do want to also point out that Rufus running into Flynn's new pilot was a rather interesting twist as well. Better be careful. Flynn doesn't have a history of taking care of his pilot. More and more we're building to a big climax with Rittenhouse and what's exactly going to go on. And of course we still have Lucy's sister and Wyatt's wife to deal with. But we'll see how all of that comes to be as we come back next week for what's getting quickly to be the end of the season. I loved Wyatt's little speech at the end about destiny and about how he's supposed to protect them. Or as he put it at the end, now we fight. Which, of course, then leads to my question of the week. We now have one person who Lucy couldn't convince, who couldn't walk away from Rittenhouse. Could you? If you were given the ability to be part of this vast conspiracy, could you look it in the face and walk away and just not do it? Overall, I'm really enjoying this season, and the season finale is coming up soon. My favorite part, of course, is the fact that they find ways to pepper in interesting historical characters, and next week it looks like we're going to have none other than Al Capone. Those of you that follow my other channel, my other videos that I make, knows that we already had an Elliot Ness episode this season for a time travel show over on Legends of Tomorrow. But that's okay. I'd love to see their take on it too. But for now, we've reached the part of the video where I need to ask you to like, share, and subscribe to this video to help me build a community and help me walk through the heart of all the stories we tell. I'm guessing the time travel ones seem to be the most common. Thanks for watching.